Hey guys, good early morning to each and every single one of you. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a good early start in the early hours of this Tuesday morning. Hope you're all looking forward to your day, and I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of this brand new week in May 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and always remember to put the notification bell on all times to receive dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of this year in 2024 on United Red Devils 20 for more Fortnite, Rocket League, EAFC, Call of Duty, Fall Guys, F1 24, EAFC 25. We've got the summer transfer window covered right throughout 2024 this year. Once the football season concludes, we'll be covering Europe, the EFL, and breaking Premier League transfer news as well. And for me, as you know, I think this is a massive, massive sigh of relief that this is our last home game at Old Trafford on Wednesday evening. We're up against Newcastle. It is an 8 p.m. home evening kickoff for Old Trafford. Match day 37 of the 23-24 Premier League season. And I think every Man United fan and every Manchester United supporter can speak for themselves that I think this is a massive, massive relief that this season is coming to an end this week. I think this season alone has been nothing more than a complete car crash. It's not been the season we all thought it was going to be, and this season has been nothing more than a complete and utter nightmare. And it's our last home game of the season. I think potentially a lot of these players will be saying their goodbyes on Wednesday. Of what I'm hearing on social media, that things have got really, really toxic since the weekend has got even worse with the rumours of certain players have been lying about their injuries, certain players have been getting away with their incompetence, and certain players at this football club have basically lied to every Man United fan and every Man United supporter across the globe over the last few fixtures that apparently the mounting injuries that we've got are complete lies. And I think a lot of these players, we know who they are. We know the ones that are causing the problems, and they are still here at this football club. And Graham Souness and Wayne Rooney have come out and exactly said the same thing, that certain players in this Man United squad have lied, have been faking the extent of their injuries, and have basically tried to get away with it. But unfortunately, because Wayne Rooney and obviously Graham Souness have obviously been told by certain people close to Manchester United Football Club, a lot of those players that we've missed through the whole of this season have lied about the extent of their injuries and how bad and how great it's not been. But the injuries, in fact, have not been that bad at all. And the players that have basically gotten away with this for so long have lied to every Man United fan and every Manchester United supporter across the globe. I feel betrayed. I feel devastated. I feel angry. I'm very disappointed. I'm frustrated with their mentality. I'm angry with their attitude, and I'm disappointed by their lack of commitment and passion to play for this great football club Manchester United once was. And to be basically lying the whole way through this season about the extent of the injuries that these players have been picking up and have basically been figured out, have been massively exposed for their lies this evening and in the early morning hours of this Tuesday morning. I cannot believe these players once again have gotten another manager sacked, have lied to the fans, have lied to the supporters, and basically get everybody to kiss their ass for them because they think they're bigger and better than the football club. They think they're bigger than this club. They think they're bigger than the fans. They think they're bigger than the supporters. And basically, what we've seen all season long has been a complete and utter bunch of pathetic ego cry babies, spoilt little brats that have gotten away with their lies every single week, every match of this season in the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Premier League. And we've all been lied to. And those players that have been out for so long, the extent of their injuries has not been that bad of what we've been hearing. And every Man United fan and supporter should not be surprised by this, because the players did this under Ralph Ragnick. They did it under Moyes, Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now they've done it to Erik ten Hag. This is exactly the same problem that these managers expose the incompetence of the top level people at this club, saying the problems that this squad has is absolutely monumental, and the players simply are not there for the club. They're not there for the badge. They're not there for the shirt. And they certainly are not there for the fans. They're not there for the supporters. And the extent that we've been lied to, I find is disgusting. How dare these players expect to be given game time by a manager who is basically fighting to keep his job, fighting to stay on as Manchester United manager next season, and has basically been exposed by the players who have been lying to the manager and the coaches and the medical team behind all their backs, exposing how bad their injuries actually haven't been. And these players have gotten away with it until today, because Graham Souness and Wayne Rooney have hit the nail on the head here. I don't want any of these players here next season. I don't want any of these lying bastards playing for this club on Wednesday night against Newcastle. I am sick of every single one of them for what they've done over the last 24 hours. How dare those players lie to the fans? How dare they lie to the supporters? Who the fuck do these players think they are? What gives them the right to lie to us? What gives them the right to absolutely expose themselves as complete and utter bullshitters? And I said to you, the extent of these injuries has been bullshit from day one. Don't come at me and tell me these players have picked up injuries left, right, and centre. The players have lied to you. And these players that have been lying to you in front of your own very eyes are representing this club on the pitch. They're putting on this shirt. They're meant to be a role model. They're meant to be, this is what you can do if you put the hard work in your life to become a professional footballer. These players have exposed themselves today as they are the biggest problem at this fucking football club. Their mentality stinks more than a baby's nappy. It stinks more than the shit that the baby puts in that nappy. How dare these players lie to every single Man United fan, every single Man United supporter? I've got a message for these players. Get the fuck out. Simply, I am done with you. How dare you lie to us all season long about the extent of your injuries, wanting to miss certain key games, extended periods of injured time that you need to recuperate. These players are nothing more than spoiled little brats who think they're bigger than the club, they're bigger than the supporters and the fans, and basically have exposed themselves because their mentality stinks, their attitude is incredibly horrific, and they don't give a fuck. And these players have been getting it away with it all season long. And those players are expected to be back for the FA Cup final. That is what I've also read. These players are all expected to be back for the FA Cup final. What a fucking surprise. So you're telling me, because the Premier League season is basically over, we've got no chance of European football next season, we are going to finish our lowest Premier League position ever in our club's history and in English Football League history, as well as Premier League history, and you've basically given up on trying to somehow turn this league season around with 2 games to go. I honestly thought these players would be fighting till the very end of this Premier League campaign. These players have thrown in the towel. These players have given up on you. These players have basically said, fuck you to the fans. Fuck you to supporters. We can't be bothered now. Because the league campaign's over anyway, we're not realistically going to win our last 2 league games. We're not going to get into Europe. So basically, there's no point us trying now, because if we win the FA Cup, we're still going to be in Europe. Does anyone really expect Manchester United to win the FA Cup knowing Man City are going to try and go for the double? They're going to win the Premier League. They're going to win the FA Cup. And Manchester United players have basically said, fuck you to the rest of the season. They can't be asked to turn up. They can't be asked to be bothered. If those players have got any remorse about them at all, come out and put an apology out. Come out and put a letter to the fans and supporters exposing why you have lied. Because you players are expected to be performing in a Man United shirt. You players are expected to turn up. You players are expected to be given high fucking standards of quality football that a manager like Erik ten Hag has been basically gasping at breath for you to be producing all season. But because you players have failed to perform and failed to turn up and failed to have a strong, big mentality, you players have thought, you know what? Fuck you, fuck the manager, fuck the coaches, fuck the fans, fuck the supporters. We can't be asked now. We can't be bothered. This is the problem at this football club. These players have been the problem all season long. And I now have got serious sympathy for Erik ten Hag. But Erik ten Hag should have been onto this very, very quickly. He is as much to blame for Man United season as well as these players. But if that Eric Ten Hag knew that these players have been lying to him all season long. These players are nothing more than snakes in the grass. They're more than snakes in the weaves. These snakes that were problems under 5 fucking previous managers have managed to keep themselves inside that dressing room and basically taken the piss out of every fucking person who loves that football club with all their heart and basically said, we can't be asked. We can't be bothered. At least we're getting paid. What's the point of performing when the season's over anyway? You're expected to be fighting for every point that you want, every goal that you need, every shot, every corner, every throw-in, every set piece. You players should be fighting to perform at Old Trafford on that hollow turf that has graced some great, great legends of all time that have ever pulled on a Man United shirt. And you players have absolutely exposed yourselves for your lack of commitment, the lack of desire, and the lack of any effort to fucking show that you are the next generational talents that some of you players, I do believe, can be. But the problem is the mentality of these players stink. There's also rumours that the players are still unconvinced by Rasmus Højlund. He is the only one, and probably Kobe Mainu at a push, that have been carrying this team all season. They've been Man United's 2 brightest players all season long. And they're the ones that have had to carry the amount of shit that is going on behind the scenes at this club because of the other players that are letting the side down. And we know who they all are. We know exactly who these little sport babies are. I mean, do we need to give them a dummy? Do we need to give them a blanket? Do we need to sing them a bedtime story? Do we need to sing them a lullaby? Do we need to get them a baby bottle and get some milk down their throats? Absolutely disgusted with these players in the last 48 hours. How dare you lie to your fans all season long, exposing how your injuries have actually not been that bad at all, but you've basically wanted to have most of the season out. So Man United are not performing at the level that everyone is expecting. Because you won the Carabao Cup, it's because you got top 4. It's because you got Champions League football last season. You thought, you know what? We've had one major bonus this season. We've won a trophy, we've got top 4, we're back in the Champions League. Season 2, we can go back and rest on our laurels again. We can go back what we did under all these previous managers. We don't really need to keep trying every season. We don't need to keep building on us getting better and better and better on the pitch. We can just basically play the same football that we did last season and expect to go again. These players have shown you over the last 48 hours, they don't care. They have given up on this club. They have given up on the shirt and they don't play for that badge. But Eric Ten Hag has got as much to blame and he should have been onto this. Why is it taken nearly till the last 2 games of the season to be told that these players have been lying and basically have been getting away with being on that hospital wing at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry? You've been sat there on your hollow beds, feeling sorry for yourself, expecting this fan base to give you sympathy for your lies, for your bullshit, for the crap that you have tried to expose us all to all that you have all season. I am done with them. And I don't want them playing on Wednesday. If these players have got the mentality of a little 5-year-old kid at preschool, get the fuck out this football club, because players like that should not be representing us on the pitch. It's absolutely horrendously disgusting that the players have done this to us. But I'm not surprised by it. They've had one lucky season and have gone back into the hibernation again. They can't be asked to keep performing at a high level that the manager wants. And Eric Ten Hag has got much to blame. He should have been onto it. And I'm fuming that the manager has left it till the last 2 games of the season to realise that these players have been lying to him. Why is Eric Ten Hag taking nearly 9 fucking months to realise I'm in a lot of shit here? I'm in so much shit. My job's on the line. I'm going to be potentially going at the end of the season. We are in our lowest league position ever in this club's history. We're going to have no European football. And we've somehow got to try and beat Newcastle and Brighton on the last 2 games of the season to get United into Europe. Even 7th place will not be enough for Manchester United next season. As we've read again, if we only get 7th, we have to play a 2-leg playoff against some BTEC minor team, because we can't automatically qualify for the revamped Europa Conference League competition that has been massively revamped. And because of where our league position is, That isn't guaranteed. So if we don't win the FA Cup and we only get 7th place, we've got to have a two-legged playoff to determine if we even make Europe at all. And if we don't do that, United have screwed themselves up here. And that is in the middle of August, by the way, those two playoff games. If we don't get into Europe of 7th or higher, United have massively, massively fucked up here. They should have found something on fucking Sunday against Arsenal. They shouldn't have let that goal in from Trossard, which was simple to defend, quite frankly. I honestly can't wait for this last game over the season. And I'll tell you what, if those players dare give you a lap of honour, don't clap them off. Don't you dare applaud these players off because they don't fucking deserve it. They don't deserve your support. Those players are the ones that have let us down all season long. If they were doing a parade when the full-time whistle blows at Old Trafford for the home season, fuck them. Let those players go down that tunnel because I don't care about them now. I don't care about their feelings. I don't care about their emotions. I don't give a fuck about them now. Let them lot suffer. Let them suffer under Eric Ten Hag because Eric Ten Hag has got standards up here. These player standards are fucking down here, as low as the carpet on your bedroom floor. It is just fucking disgusting that they have done this all season long, knowing this is crunch time here. We need to beat Newcastle Wednesday. Like, I don't think these United players realise how fucked we actually are. We're going to have no European football. We are going to have to try and win the FA Cup against your arch rivals, Man City, who are going to want the double after what happened to them in the Champions League. They can't win the Carabao Cup because they're shit at competing in it. And as for the FA Cup, they are going to want to defend it, as well as the Premier League. Man City are going to go head for toe to win these last two remaining competitions that Man City have got any chance to win. Man City are going to go for both. And United, because we've been shit all season long, we've allowed our rivals to creep up. And I don't think it sinks right in quite yet to these United players' shit mentalities. We could end up finishing 10th by the end of the season. Brighton could leapfrog us. West Ham could leapfrog us. Chelsea and Newcastle are already both above us. United have really, really fucked up here. So I'm hoping and praying that we win our last home game on Wednesday night. We have got to beat Newcastle because Newcastle, to be fair, have not been that brilliant all season. They have been massively, massively incompetent on the pitch as well as off the pitch. Obviously, Newcastle have got to sell 2 or 3 of their best players in the summer because Newcastle have massively overspent on players like Isaac and Anthony Gordon, giving Bruno Guimaraes a new contract. Newcastle have fucked themselves. Chelsea have spent nearly $1 billion in the last 2 transfer windows, and look what that money is now doing. That money is getting Chelsea to improve. You've seen from Chelsea's last few results and goals they're now scoring. Chelsea were miles behind us at one point, and so were fucking Newcastle. And because United have screwed up so many times this season, we've allowed our rivals to improve them and then leapfrogging us. And that is going to be the cycle of repetition because we're just going to let this keep happening. United will never learn their lesson. You can keep sacking the managers as much as you want. You can repeat the cycle as much as you want. I don't care. But at the end of the day, I do care because even Gary Neville has said this is not the mentality. That this club cannot just keep sacking the manager. But the manager has got to get these players playing, and he simply isn't getting them. Because those players have given up, they don't want to listen to his tactics. They're not listening in training, and they're certainly not listening on the pitch. And we've seen that against Palace, Burnley, and Arsenal in our last 3 fucking league games. And we have seen simply nothing from Man United in those last 3 games. We have seen fucking nothing. It's because the players have given up now. We all know who they are. Half our first team squad has apparently been injured, even though it's been lies. We've got players on the pitch being played out of position. We've got players we now want. We brought under Eric Ten Hag. We're now wanting to get rid of. I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, Anthony, because he played for Eric Ten Hag at Ajax, I want him at Man United. Because Andre Onana played at Ajax, I want him at Man United. Because I want Frankie de Jong, I want him at Manchester United. Because Lissandro Martinez played at Ajax, I want him at Manchester United. I mean, what the fuck does that tell you? Mason Mount, he's at Chelsea, I want him at Man United. I mean, Eriksen, a free transfer, I want him at Man United. I mean, the list of players goes on that this club have brought under this manager that have simply not been good enough. Casemiro, because Real Madrid are letting their deadwood go, I want him at Man United. I mean, Casemiro was our best player last season by a flipping mile. That CDM role, he made it his own. He was absolutely quality. And I'm a big fan of Casemiro. He's one of my favourite Manchester United players. But at the end of the day, what the fuck has happened to him? He's absolutely fell off a cliff all season long. I've never known a footballer of the class that he's got and the success and the trophies that he has won in his career. I cannot believe the amount of fallen off he's had. I'm shocked by Casemiro. I honestly thought we had that CDM role sorted with him last season. But this season, he has been massively exposed. I don't know what's going on there. I thought Casemiro would have carried on the form that he had last season into this season and he would have been the same player. But clearly, there's something not quite right. I can't put my finger on it, but he isn't the same player. But again, is being deployed at centre back. And what makes me angry about Erik ten Hag, and Erik ten Hag, I don't think quite realised this on Sunday, is we had a fit Willie Cabwala on the United bench, who they could have picked from the minute go, put him in the starting team, starting 11 for the game against Arsenal on Sunday evening. They could have paired Johnny Evans and Cabwala both at centre back, and you could have put Casemiro back at CDM where he does the job a lot better. But somehow Erik ten Hag has figured, well, do you know what? Casemiro's not doing that bad. He's not doing that bad next to Johnny Evans. He's actually doing all right. Why do I need to change things up? The defence looks pretty solid. We're not conceding a lot of goals. Well, we've conceded 6 goals in our last 3 games, and we've taken 1 point from 9. And that is because these players are being deployed at positions that they're quite not comfortable with. And that's been exposed by Erik ten Hag's tactics. I don't know why Erik ten Hag has got no balls or any guts to change this, because this is going to cost him his job. If you're playing players like Anthony at left back when he's a right back, that's at right wing, that's concerning. If you're playing Casemiro at centre back as a CDM, that's worrying. If you're putting Wan-Bissaka at left back when he's not a left back, he's a right back, again, that's not right. Erik ten Hag is shooting himself in the foot here. I think for me, he's trying to get the sack. I think Erik ten Hag knows this is a job far too gone. I think he realises that he's not going to be in charge of the club next season. And I think he realises the game's up and he doesn't know how to turn the sinking ship around. He's completely lost faith in everyone connected with the club. You can see by the body language and the facial expressions in his press conferences as well as on the touchline. There is a lot of cracks here that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And previous managers exposed how bad this was. And Man United have carried on to do this. There's no transition. There is no quality on and off the pitch. The board and the recruitment are a joke. The players on the pitch are a catastrophe. And as for the manager, who I thought was the right guy, looks absolutely beaten. He looks absolutely beaten. And I feel for Erik ten Hag. But at the end of the day, if players are being deployed out of position and the injuries have been lies all season long, and Erik ten Hag has got to call this out here. If the players have been lying to him, he should have called this out. And again, that is a fault of the manager. He should have realised that most of these players he wanted rid of have not been got rid of. And those same players have caused the same problems time and time and time again. Jadon Sancho called this. Cristiano Ronaldo called this. David De Gea. 3 players that, Man United really wanted to keep hold of. They should have kept, because those players exposed how bad this was. And I was in favour of getting rid of those players. I hold my hands up. I got the situation wrong, and I apologise for that. They were right. Those 3 players realised, do you know what? The standard of this club are absolutely on the floor. The manager is not good enough to lead this club. His tactics and his training are not up to an elite level manager. And the board have got to take a major responsibility for that as well, because they should have never given Erik ten Hag the job. But they took a punt. They took a risk that was worthwhile taking because season 1 was very successful. But at the end of the day, look at the fall off this season. United have absolutely collapsed. And it's because of the players. I think the manager doesn't know how to change this. I think he looks questionable from his tactics. I think his team selections are a disgrace. And I think the players he's got available are part of the problem as well. And, people are going to say, well, these injuries are actually quite serious. No, they're not, because Graham Souness and Wayne Rooney have absolutely exposed it. that someone close to United has told both of them that the players have been lying and faking their injuries on how bad or to an extent their injuries they've got. If they've been told that, then you've got to listen because we've been lied to, and it fucking hurts. It kills me inside because I look up to a lot of these players. They're some of my favourites that I've ever seen the club have. I've never seen players like this in my lifetime. But at the end of the day, because we've been lied to, it hurts me because I love supporting this club. But I can't stand liars. I can't stand people who lie. And if these players have been doing it all season long, which clearly they have, then I'm sorry to say the club's dead. The club is finished because it will not improve anytime soon with these sport little babies on the pitch. I want Eric Ten Hag to call this out now and change this team up. And do you know what? I'm calling this now. I would rather see the under 18s play our last two league games of the season and let Man United and let them expose how shit that first team squad is, because that first team squad is shit. Ericsson, Casemiro, Delo, Wan-Bissaka, Johnny Evans, Scott McTominay, Ericsson, Anthony, Garnacho, Hoyland. I mean, Eric Ten Hag has got 10 players there that ain't good enough. And a lot of people, again, are blaming Rasmus Højlund. Like, Rasmus Højlund is the only striker we've got. And he'll have to play Wednesday because we've got no other backup striker. And a lot of people saying, well, they've got that Wheatley, the under-18 striker. The under-18s have won their league. He's a great upcoming striker. He's there for the future. He isn't good enough to lead the line, and that's all we've got. And a lot of people have come out from the press conference this morning, and Samuel Lutkers put it out on X on Twitter, that these players are not convinced by Rasmus Højlund still. And you think to yourself, do you know what? It is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. These players have got power again. These players have been allowed to get complete control. They've been allowed to have player power again has got in at Manchester United Football Club. And I'm absolutely disgusted. I thought we saw the end of this. I thought this player power was going to stop. And clearly, the player power has taken back over this club. And it is sad, it's pathetic, but it's the reality. These players are snakes. These players cannot be trusted. If the players are saying that we don't trust Rasmus Højlund still, that is because you're not giving him any service off the wings. That, again, is a major problem. And Eric Ten Hag has never fixed that problem. Pellistri, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, Ahmad, that ain't going to work. I'm really sorry. Garnacho's not a right winger. Ahmad is the only hope we've got. But because, we've brought an Ajax player in because Eric Ten Hag really wanted him and Anthony said he would always be there for Ten Hag if he ever needed him, we had to pay 85 million for him. That hasn't worked. I thought he was the answer. Again, I'll hold my hands up. It's not worked. He needs to be moved on. But the club are going to have to sell out these players that he has brought in on a loss. Because United have played so much for them and the wages they're on are ludicrous, they're going to have a major problem in the summer. I don't, again, think United have realised that's going to screw them up as well for the transfer window. But these players need to be exposed by the under-18s. Let the under-18s play these last two games and let these under-18s show this first team squad up. Let those under-18s embarrass the fuck out the first 11 and let's show them that the quality is there in the under-18 squad, because if they can win their league, they should be in that first team. Get those lot promoted to first team football, because at the end of the day, that says a lot, because those under-18s actually care. They actually give a shit. They actually give a fuck for this club. They play for the badge, they play for the shirt, and they fucking give their all. Those first team players are spoiled little babies. Give them their baby milk, give them a blanket, sing them a bedtime story and put them to sleep. Put them fucking down. Because I tell you what, if I see any of them on Wednesday play, I'm going to go for them. And I'm going to call it for how I see it. These players should never, ever be allowed to represent Manchester United Football Club ever again. I want Ten Hag to have some balls, have some guts, get those under-18s playing on Wednesday night. Don't use any of those first team players ever, ever again. Get those problematic players out of this club because they are the problem. Player power has returned. I can't wait to end this season. I'm looking forward to the game Wednesday because I know it's a big, big game. You've got United and Newcastle. Newcastle, again, are going for European football. Manchester United need to win their last two games to get any chance of being in Europe next season. Manchester United need this result more. I think Newcastle will be fine. Newcastle will be in Europe next season. I've got no concern there. But the problem is Man United need these last two results more, and they're going to have to go for it. They can't just sit there and say, well, we don't have the quality. We don't have the quality. These United players have got to turn up. These United players have got to stand up, stand up and be counted for. They have got to give those fans something on Wednesday night, because we saw enough against Palace, we saw enough against Burnley, and we saw it on Sunday evening. This fan base has had enough. These supporters are done. We are so fed up. We're so pissed off. It's because of these players. And if the players aren't going to give a fuck, then go, because we are still going to be here with or without you. If you're not here, it's not a big loss, because we're still going to be here and we're still going to be Manchester United. But without you, we're going to become a better club. And that will be getting rid of half this first team squad. If you've got to sell 20 to 30 players and bring 20 to 30 in, United are going to have to do it. Don't come at me with financial fair play. Don't come at me with sell to buy. Don't believe the bullshit that United are leaking, because today has been massively exposing these liars, and I'm sick of them. You've even got rumours this morning from Neil Curtis in The Sun that Bruno Fernandes, after 4.5 years at Manchester United, is wanting to leave. That is what you call a captain, apparently. That is what you call a leader. That is what apparently you call a role model. A player that has had enough. And Bruno Fernandes will be a big, big miss if he leaves next season. But I don't blame him. I don't blame Bruno in any time. I would never blame Bruno Fernandes. But again, he throws his toys out the pram when he doesn't get a decision. He's meant to be our captain. He's meant to be the role model. He is someone you're meant to go to get some confidence off. If he doesn't want to be here, then piss off. Because he should have played on Sunday and he didn't. And he should have played against Palace and he didn't. But against Burnley, I'm fine. Just because I've got a wrist problem. I couldn't care if you've got... I couldn't care if he couldn't see out of one eye. At the end of the day, get the fuck on with it. You players are meant to be fighting. I've seen nothing to convince me that we're going to win this game. I'm not confident we're going to get anything, in my view. I cannot see us winning these last two league games, because the problem is United are going to get desperate, and it's going to be backs against the wall at times defensively. But going forward, there's going to be no service. And when you've got selfish wingers like Garnacho and Anthony thinking they're bloody Mbappe and Messi, you ain't going to get any service to Højlund. And then they'll blame Rasmus because they don't have any confidence in him. If you don't have any confidence in him, my God, where have you lot been all season? Because at the end of the day, he's our top goal scorer, and you're basically blaming him for Man United's chances in front of goal. Wake the fuck up, would you? Because if you would have got him the ball and gave him some service, he might have found the ball in the back of the net a few more times this season. It's not his fault. And he will play Wednesday. I've got full confidence he will play. But it's the players around him. Like Ericsson doesn't want to be here. Eric Ten Hag still uses the guy. Scott McTominay was of interest to West Ham in January. Man United had a 30 million bid on the table, and Man United said, no, that's not enough. We want 40, 45 million upwards. What a fucking disgrace that was. Casemiro shouldn't be played at centre-back. He should be playing at CDM. Why Eric Ten Hag has got no common sense to play two solid centre-backs who aren't solid, though. They are crap. I'm not saying they're solid. I'm saying they're solid to do a job, but they're not good enough going forward. Kabwala and Johnny Evans should have been the starting centre-back partnership on Sunday, and Eric Ten Hag completely ignored it. And people say, well, Kabwala's only come back from injury. I don't fucking care. At the end of the day, get on and show some fight. Because when you had players like Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, Berbatov, Van Persie, Anderson, Nani, De Gea, Vidic, Rio, Evra, did you see them lot complaining? Did you see them lot whinging? Did you see them lot giving in? Did you see not any of them giving any fight? No, because they cared. They loved that club. They gave their all every time they put on that Man United shirt and fought for every ball, every tackle. They fought for everything with their hearts because they had a bond. They had a style of play. They had DNA, and they had a great manager in Sir Alex Ferguson. And do you know what? If we could bring that guy back, I actually would, because I tell you what, it would give these players a rocket. That is what's fucking needed. These players need a rocket so far up their ass, you've got to get a shovel to start digging the shit out of their crack. Because I'm sick of it. I just want these United players to turn up and show some fucking remorse. Actually put in a performance that we can actually get a result from. Because at the moment, it's not looking likely. Eric Ten Hag will probably not even change that team from Sunday. Expect it to be the same players. And if it is, that guy has got no chance being our manager next season. If Ten Hag is too afraid to change the squad, then surely to God, something has got to give. I mean, I would, not being funny, I'd be telling Luke Shaw and Malacia, get off your injuries and stop feeling sorry for yourself. Martinez, Fernandes, Rashford. I would tell them, stop feeling fucking sorry for yourselves and start putting in the grit and determination in the fight to overcome whatever's going on. Because you're not injured. You're taking the piss. Not just out of me. You're taking the piss out of the club. You're taking the piss out of the fans and the supporters. And we're all suffering. And without you lot, we can't play the football we want. And Eric Ten Hag has said that. We can't play the football we want to play because I haven't got the players available. It's because the players have been lying to you, Eric. They've been lying to your face, mate. And you've been allowing them to do it. And the players have won. I mean, congratulations. The players have won. I just want to see a performance against Newcastle. That is all I'm looking for. I want some kind of a performance that I can beat. Do you know what? We can win that game. Newcastle do concede goals, don't get me wrong. But going forward, they're a much better attacking team. Isaac, Gordon, Bruno Guimaraes, Willock, Longstaff. I mean, some of those Newcastle players would get into that Man United squad straight away. Isaac would, Anthony Gordon would, Bruno Guimaraes would, Fabian Schär, Nick Pope. I mean, the list of Newcastle players goes on. And that is how good a job Eddie Howe's done. You can't take anything away from Eddie Howe. You know, when he got relegated with Bournemouth from the Premier League that season, it absolutely killed me because I didn't want to see Bournemouth go down. I think Bournemouth are a great addition to the Premier League. I think Bournemouth have done very well under their new manager. They're playing some good football. They've got a lot of good players and they've got aspirations to be a European side next season. Bournemouth will improve even more and become a better team. Since Eddie Howe left Bournemouth, look at the job he's done at Newcastle. Look at his recruitment. Look at the money Newcastle have got. And yes, they're going to have to sell one of their key stars in the summer to balance their books. That's because Newcastle have overspent and they haven't got the money now that they thought they had. They didn't actually have in the first place, and they've got to pay up for that. But you still see a style of play at Newcastle. You still see DNA. You see a team bond. You see something at Newcastle that Man United are never going to have. And there's a team connection. There's a connection and a bond and a togetherness from the squad. Because there is none of that at Man United, those players are playing as individuals. We're not playing as a team because we've given up. The players don't want to show any more fight. They're absolutely on their holidays. And apparently one of the two key reasons as well, they want to be fit for the Euros. That was one of the reasons that was given. The players have been faking injuries because they want to be fit for the Euros. And they want to be fit for the FA Cup final. That's why we've got all these injuries. But we've been lied to because Graham Souness and Wayne Rooney have exposed it. Because they've been told by certain people close to Manchester United that the players have been faking it. I don't want to see them again. I do not want to see who those players are. If I find out who they are, I'm going to go for them. I don't give a shit about their feelings and emotions. They need to get the fuck out of this club. Because if it's some of the players I think it is, then they need to be got rid of. I'm sorry. Get out the club. Sell them for what you can get. I don't care if we've got to take a loss or take a hit financially. Get the fuck out. And I don't want them playing on Wednesday. Don't dare Eric Ten Hag let those lies get themselves in any chance of a first team spot on Wednesday night. Don't he dare. Because if he does, he's just a part of the problem because he's got no guts to drop these players. And he needs to find out who it is. He needs to find out who these players are. And he'll probably get on the phone to Wayne Rooney. He'll probably get on the phone to Graham Souness. And he'll probably ask him, which players are this? Which players are they then? Tell me which players it is. Because I'll tell you what, if I find out if they are, I will call it out. And I think Eric Ten Hag wants to say it. But he's probably been told you can't say this and say that by the board and the owners. I think the situation at Man United is beyond breaking point. It's more than that BBC One series, breaking point. It's critical now. We're in a shit spot. And I just want somehow on Wednesday to come and sit after the full-time Western and have a positive reaction. But I've seen nothing in the last 3 games to convince me. I think it's going to be more of the same. We are going to concede goals. We're going to concede a lot more shots on goal. The defence will crumble away like it's been for the last 3 results. 1 point from 9. 6 goals conceded in our last 3 games alone. I mean, that doesn't fill me with confidence. That doesn't get me off my seat. That fucking frightens the shit out of me. Because the players are done. The players have given up. They've waved the white flag. They've got the Dido song on. And it's really, really pathetic that these players have given in. It's really, really sad that they've just given up. But that has been like this for years. It's been like that since 2013. Everyone gave up. And I'll tell you one of the key points. When Sir Alex Ferguson retired, the Glazers took back control. They're like, do you know what? Thank God he's retiring because do you know what? We're taking back the power now. We're going to take back the power. No one's going to dictate it to us anymore. David Gill's going to go. Sir Alex is going. Right. Us, the Glazers, are taking back control of this. and we are going to dictate to every single person at this club what they can and cannot do. And that started with the investment in the team. And that is why United have suffered, because not enough money has been invested into this team. This is why we're suffering on the pitch. This is why we've got crap individual players who are lazy, arrogant, and basically useless bastards because they can't be asked to try anymore. That is disgusting beyond comprehension. It is disgusting that these players have decided to act like that. And if any of them play on Wednesday and we see exactly the same from the last 3 games, then I'm sorry to say, expect that against Brighton on Sunday. Expect that in the FA Cup final. And do you know what will anger me? If all those players who apparently have been injured all season are back for the FA Cup final, I'll be like, do you know what? No, you're not playing in that final. You can get absolutely stuffed if you think you're getting a chance for that FA Cup medal round your neck. Because we're not winning it anyway. Fans have got to realise that United are not going to win the FA Cup. People think we've honestly got a chance. I mean, wake up and smell the fucking coffee. If you think Manchester United have got a realistic chance of winning the FA Cup, then I'm the Pope. If you think Man United have got any realistic chance of winning the FA Cup, you are deluded. I mean, you must be an ostrich. Your head must be so much far buried in the sand that you can't get yourself out. That is how I feel with everything going on. I'm depressed. I feel angry. I feel disappointed. I just feel very fucked off with everything going on at this football club. And I'm disappointed. But I'm not surprised. I can't see us winning this game. I think Newcastle need the result, but Man United need it a hell of a lot more. We will only go level with Newcastle and Chelsea on points if we win on Wednesday night. We will only go level on points. But the goal difference, that ain't going to help. But that's been like this all season long. And it hasn't got any better. It's got worse. So we need to find in our last 2 games a comprehensive 2 results. And we need to find the back of the net a lot to get that goal difference on side. And you're going to have to hope also Newcastle and Chelsea drop points. Because if they don't, then again, we are in big trouble. Chelsea are away to Brighton on Wednesday. Newcastle are away to us. And then we play Brighton on the last day of the season. Chelsea, I think, have got Bournemouth. And I think Brentford have got Newcastle. So we can't rely on ourselves here. We need to do our job. But the job's already gone. We can't rescue the situation we've been in. And that situation is going to be like this till the weekend. And it's going to kill me. I cannot understand how we're going to miss out on Europe. But I'm not surprised. I'm going to be gutted. I'm going to be fucked off. Because that is embarrassing. At least if we can get in Europa Conference League, at least we're in something. But that realistically is not where I want to be as a Man United fan. I want to be at Europe's top table, dining with the top European clubs. We have fallen that far off. We're not on their level. I mean, people honestly thought Man United would cruise through their Champions League group. I absolutely beg to differ. Look where it finished. Finished bottom of our group and got knocked out of Europe altogether. I mean, if you can't beat FC Copenhagen and you can't beat Galatasaray, then my God, we're in trouble. And it's been exposed again. The Carabao Cup, we couldn't even defend that properly. And we got knocked out of that by fucking Newcastle. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And it's not got any better. In fact, this is getting worse. But I think people are going to be relieved once the season ends on Sunday. I mean, we've got the FA Cup final next Saturday. I mean, that could be anything. It could be a cricket score. I think that's going to be a heavy hammering in that final because Man City is going to have too much. But it wouldn't surprise if United find something from somewhere because we've seen it before. But if they can't find anything against Burnley and Palace and they couldn't do anything against Arsenal on Sunday, then what hope have we got in these next 2 games? I just don't think there is any. I think the hope's gone, the momentum's gone, the morale's on the floor, the season is over, and the players have basically thrown the towel in. Can't be asked, can't be bothered. What's the point? That is the mentality of these players. Absolutely vile human beings that should be nowhere near this team. Scott McTominay, he ain't good enough. Delot, apparently. I'll tell you what makes me angry. I see all this stuff on Twitter. Diego Delot has been one of our most consistent players all season. I don't know what people are smoking here, and I don't know what they're thinking about Delot. He's been shit for the last 3 fucking months. He's been shit for the 3 last fucking games. And all the praise that this bang average right back gets, I would rather bring Rafael and Fabio De Silva back to this club. That is what I would do because Delot is not fucking good enough. And Mourinho was part of the Delo problem. That deal should have never, ever been sanctioned. Just because he's been mostly one of our fit players and apparently has showed solid performances and should be up for one of the Player of the Year awards. Are you having a laugh? And mentioning that, did you know that the Player of the Year awards have been cancelled for the second time in a row? Did anybody realise that? That the Player of the Year awards have been cancelled at Man United because of our form and because of the FA Cup? I mean, why would you even want to host a award ceremony when the season's been shit? I mean, a bit of common sense. It should have been cancelled anyway. I mean, we're only in our lowest league position. Might not even be in Europe next season. But you know what? We've got a Player of the Year awards evening to look to. The day after, it's been cancelled. The day after we lost to Arsenal, the same night we lost to Arsenal, the Players Award ceremony got cancelled. I ain't surprised because the standards of the club's on the floor. None of them really deserve any remorse, really. They don't deserve any sympathy. I don't feel sorry for these players. I feel sorry for the fans and the supporters that I care about the most. We don't deserve this. We didn't deserve this season, and we certainly did not deserve the treatment of this football club. But we've been treated like dog shit on the bottom of someone's shoe, and we can't clean the shoe. We can't clean the dog shit out of it, off our shoe. And the dog shit has gone right into the grooves of the heel on the bottom of his shoe, and you can't get it out. And it absolutely stinks. And it's gone on the carpet, it's gone on the floor, and you've got to try and wash the carpet, and you've got to clean that dog shit up. It's left stains, it's left marks, and you can't clean it. That is how I feel. I feel we've been massively treated like dog shit all season long. Since the day we kicked the ball for the new season, we've been treated so badly. I mean, the results aren't good enough. That's on the manager. But if the players have done what they've done, which has been true and been exposed today, then it says a lot. This is why we've had the season we've had. It's down to these players, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the professionals we've got representing us. This is apparently role models, that young professional players that want to be up there in the future playing for a club at Man United. This is the standard we've got to. Do you think young, hungry, inspirational players in academies or younger Sunday league football, do you think some of these players are going to look at Man United thinking, do you know what? I ain't going there, because I would go there myself. If I had offers from better European clubs and I saw the state of Man United, even though I'm a Man United fan, am I going to go for Man United in the state that it's in, or am I going to go to a stable club that is in Europe, is winning trophies and is showing progress on the pitch? I think I know what avenue I'd be going to. I'd be going for the better European club. I know I love this football club and I love supporting them. But at the end of the day, I've got to go to a club that is stable and is showing progress on the pitch. Man United have not done that this season. It's been a car crash. It's been a nightmare. It's been a Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares USA. It's been absolutely horrific. The club's in complete denial. The clubs and the standard of the football is on the floor. And the players, like I've said, are the ones to blame for the last few results. Eric Ten Hag has got to take some part of the blame because he's selecting these players. He's picking this team. He's not having any guts to change anything up. And he's clearly got favourites. I think Solskjaer's in disguise. I think he's Solskjaer in disguise. I mean, do we need to get Scooby-Doo and the mystery machine and the gang to rip Eric Ten Hag's face off and reveal Solskjaer's underneath? Because at the end of the day, if this is going to be like this under this manager, I would rather get relegated, go down to the Championship, and the club gets sold, and we rebuild again. That for me is the only way things are ever going to get better. I think it's going to have to get to that level that we get relegated, we go down to the Championship, and the Glazers fuck off. Because look at the stadium. I mean, videos on Sunday after the game were sad, wasn't it? It's just sad how bad Old Trafford's been neglected, and the Glazers have left it to rot, as well as the first team, as well as the lack of recruitment and the lack of the money and the lack of investment that's been in this team, and they've let Old Trafford rot. We need a brand new state-of-the-art stadium. We need a brand new training ground. That's not fit for purpose now. We've got to have a brand new state-of-the-art training facility built. We need a state-of-the-art football stadium because it is falling to pieces. And if it is on Sunday, it's sad to see Old Trafford the way it is. This is why I don't go up there. This is why I'm fed up with the football club as a whole. I'm not going to put money into a club that I don't think deserve it. United do not deserve any remorse. They don't deserve sympathy, and they don't deserve your apologies, because those Man United fans have done nothing wrong. The supporters have done nothing wrong. This is on the club, on and off the pitch, for the way everyone is treated. The fans should be important. The supporters should be important. And the football club don't give a fuck. And if that's a club that don't give a fuck, then go and support someone else, because you fans deserve better. You supporters deserve better. And I hope that those players show up Wednesday, but I think unfortunately we are going to see more of the same against Burnley, Palace, and Arsenal. I'm just not convinced we're going to be able to turn this season around in these last two. It's too little, too late, and unfortunately, this is going to be the way it is. But I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? Because I'm not. This is life of being a Man United fan. We have more ups and downs in life than Ronan Keating's song "Life Is a Roller Coaster." We're more up and down than a hot couple in bed on their first wedding night. It's absolutely embarrassing. Well, more up and down than a broken yo-yo. And because the string has broken off the yo-yo, it's just a yo. And it is absolutely embarrassing to see where it is. Scoreline-wise, I'm going to go for a lucky 2-0 Man United win, but that's more hope than optimism. I'm just not feeling confident in any way that this club is going to be able to turn anything around. And I think we'll see no wins in our last 3 games. And I think that's how the Premier League season is going to end, unfortunately. But let's see what happens at Old Trafford on Wednesday night. So hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, bottom right hand corner on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and to always remember the notification bell. Put the bell on all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of this year. In 2024, we've got brand new Fortnite, Rocket League, EAFC, F1 24, EAFC 25. We've got Call of Duty, Fall Guys. We've got more previews and match reactions. We've got the summer transfer window covered right throughout this year once the football season comes to a conclusion. We're covering EFL, Europe, and the Premier League. And then obviously, like I always say, join me for the full-time whistle and the reaction after the full-time whistle Old Trafford Wednesday night. I'm hoping Man United somehow can get a win. I'm hoping we can get a result, but I think the way we've seen our last 3 games, I expect more of the same. I think that's the big conclusion to this. More of the same, and the Premier League season is going to come down, crash and burn in our last 2 games. So enjoy the week. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. You're all legends, you're all legendary, and I'll see you on the next one.